Okay, so one of the things I love about Honda are tasteful upgrades that are modern in design, but they're not too edgy. So this is a 2021 Honda Accord. And I love this style. So we're gonna compare it to this 2015. And I like this one. I think this may be a sports model because this is kind of what they look like before. This is probably my favorite model, so we'll compare the two. And we'll start with this one. And this is a sport model, and I love the design of this vehicle. So I think this looks really good. But as you can see, this front bumper with the fog lights is a little bit more squared off, a bit more modern. This is a 2011. So obviously this one looks a little bit newer. And we'll take a look at this one last. This is an Accord Sport, so it's not really a fair comparison. They both have cloth. This is rocking the new 1.5 liter turbocharged engine. This one is rocking the classic 2.5 liter engine. And I love this car because it has good space. It sits nice, is what I'll say. I like the hood line. I mean, stepping in here, this is soft touch. This, I like this inlay here. This is not damp, but this is a good size. I love this recessed display here. It kind of keeps it out of the sun. I love the straightforward work in here. This is a 2015. I love the automatic climate control. This is a sport model, so it has a couple more features than some of the other trims in its day. You know, you have your USB and charging port. This one's mainly to play music. This is like a audio or media in port. And yeah, you have your leather topped console here, and then you have another power outlet here. So this is still in the age of modern cell phones, so you can never have enough chargers. E-brake is here. This is not push button start, but it is very solid. This is soft touch. Again, this is a sport model, so it does have a little bit more flair. You probably won't have chromed interior door handles in the regular model. I love the chrome on this. Again, this has a nice full, I don't know, this just sets really nice to me. It looks like a balanced SUV. It has a decent hood line. This front door is wide. This front door is wide as well. You have good sized wheels on this car. This thing is rocking 18s. So that's good for 2015. And did I mention I love the chrome? And this is tastefully done. You have cloth interior, but I like that they use leather here. No chrome accent here, but that's okay. Stepping in back, I am over 6 feet and I have plenty of room back here. These chairs are wide, they're comfortable. This feels great. This feels like a high quality vehicle. The doors close very solidly. There's no excuse for not having vents back here, even in 2015, but that's okay. Yeah, you could sit 3 adults back here. I wouldn't want to have 3 adults, but you could do it and not, you know, maybe for an hour and a half. Not too bad. Visibility's good in here. This is the front cabin from the back. I'll show you the front seat in a second. You don't have a sunroof in here, but obviously this is going to be incandescent lighting. I love that this thing is in reach of the driver and front passengers. In my car, it's not, and that's super annoying. And then visibility back here is not great, so good thing this thing has a backup camera. The windows are nice and full. The belt line isn't super high like in some Kias, but great Honda quality. Looking at the trunk, yeah, I mean, this looks way better than that vehicle. This is a little bit more squished in the back and pinched off in the back and front, so it doesn't look as imposing and athletic. Looks kind of goofy to me. This does have dual exhaust because it's a sport model, which is super dope. But I'm making this video to just show you continued Honda excellence. That's basically what this is about. I'm not a hater on any car brand, but Honda's been doing it for a while. We all know that. Stepping in here, you know, for 2015, if you have a little digital dial in the front, that's okay. You have cruise control, Bluetooth here, sunglass holder here, easy to use lights, you know. You have a mirror in there with lights, traction control off, Everything's reachable from here. The steering wheel feels great, feels solid, good in the hands, easy to maneuver this car. Let's look under the hood, and we'll also pop the trunk. Stepping back into the trunk, you have a good amount of space back here, and the seats do fold down, so that's pretty dope. The pass-through is not as wide as my Jetta. A lot of cars are like that. That's okay. You're not going to use that very often. Spare tire back here, but this is, you know, if you have a family of 4, this is plenty enough space for you. Solid closure here. I love the spoiler on the hood. As you can see, the 2021 has it as well. Let's see if we have struts here. Probably not. All right, so that hood is super heavy and you don't have struts, which I feel like you should have on the sport model, but this is a very, very responsible engine compartment. So you have a 2.5 liter engine, plenty of space down here. Your alternators here, O2 sensors there, oil stick is here, transmission stick down there, windshield wiper fluid right there. Your batteries right here, air box is here. You really can't complain. And then you also have this brace here for less body roll, which is very, very nice. Air intake is right here. Super dope. I'm gonna shout out my Jetta. This is a 2015 and these lights are super foggy. Even on this side, I don't know what it is about my Jetta. It has the best light housing plastic because it looks great. You don't have accents in the mirror. That's more of a European thing that's carried over into the 2020s a bit more. But yeah, this car looks great. So we'll move over to this vehicle. Now, this one is a little bit more pinched off in the back. It sits more like a coupe, you know, a lower slung coupe. It definitely looks more aerodynamic, but it still has a good stance and it doesn't look small for a mid-size sedan. So I like that. These wheels are nice. They look modern. They're not super edgy or racy. What size are these? These are 17s, which is a good size. You have good rubber. It's gonna help with better comfort when driving. This does have hidden exhaust, but it does have dual exhaust in the back, so I like that. Go ahead and pop the trunk, which you cannot do from the back. I hate that with Hondas. This is a metallic color. We'll actually start in the back seat. So the doors on this vehicle feel solid. There is plenty of space in here, which is typical of a Honda Accord. This one feels like it sits a little bit lower, but this cabin definitely feels a little bit more slanted, but a bit more airy at the same time. A lot of natural light coming in here, even though it's kind of swoopy, coopy. Incandescent bulb, which is okay. I love that it's reachable from the driver's seat. These are interesting. This interior is comfortable. Now, I'd be concerned about this getting stained and dirty in time, so I wouldn't get one this light, but it does look good when it's newer. This is hard touch, hard touch, ooh, hard touch, soft touch, soft touch. I love the painted accents here. It's not doing too much. You have a map pocket here. You don't have one here. Who uses map pockets? The doors close solidly. This doesn't feel any less substantial or solid than the 2015. The doors feel a little lighter, but they don't feel cheap. So, walking all the way around in a second. I love the metallic paint on this vehicle. This door opens wide. You don't have power seats here. A lot of manufacturers are doing that. They're including more standard electronic components like lane keep and radar cruise control. I like that this is a flatter bottom. I love this cockpit in here. This reminds me of the new Civic. Yeah, this is some kind of radar monitored proximity thing. I love the charging options here. I don't really lament the lack of USB-C. Honestly, this is a 2021. This is a good implementation of the stuck in the dash type thing. I think that's dope. You have electronic parking brake. This is a good amount of material in here. And then you have another charger in here. what I meant to say is a good amount of space. I like these square cup holders, even though they're not as practical. These will hold large drinks. And then you have cup holders in the door as well. This is functional. I don't know what this area is back here. This is for you to, I don't know, lose stuff, because if you put keys in here or something, they'll slide into the front. That could be worked on. Hard touch, hard touch, hard touch, soft touch. Sorry, soft touch. Soft touch here, soft touch here. We will go ahead and pop the trunk, pop the hood while we're in here. I don't like this hood mechanism. It kind of feels cheap. I know Honda does that. But this cabin is very straightforward. Looking in the back, you cannot see much out the back, so you'll have to rely on cameras. And it doesn't have a sunroof, but there's enough natural light coming in here that it's fine. I love this inlay here. It just creates different textures, and the start-stop buttons here. So this is a very solid vehicle, and this front door feels very solid. I do feel like I'm sitting a little lower. I can still see over the hood, so I like that. I wish there was a power button thing here. I wish there was better labeling here. That's okay. Still continued Honda excellence in there. Okay, you have to hold that to pop the trunk. The speakers are back here now, which is dope. You have little tweeters here. So, it opens pretty wide. Wow, that is a super wide opening. There is a little lift over, but it is a four-door sedan, not a low-slung sports car. This is really good space for a family of 4, even 5 with younger children, I would say. Not missing out on anything here. This is an LX model, so this isn't a base model. But it's not the Accord Sport. The Accord Sport probably looks a little bit better than this one, but still, just coming around a little bit. I love this front end. Again, it sits lower, but it doesn't look super small like the Hyundai Sonata really kind of, I know people say it looks catfishy. More than that, it looks so low and tight that you lose interior volume, and it just looks smaller and more compact sedan size like the Civic, and I don't like that. If I get a mid-size car, I want it to look and feel a little bit more substantial, even though the Sonata has more space than it seems to. Popping this hood, you do not have struts, and this is a turbocharged engine, so you have a lot more going on under here. I like that the coils sit right there, the battery's right there, your air box is right there, so you still have access to a lot of things and all the fluids you need. You can change the spark plugs easy in this car. Down there you probably have an intercooler, but this is very, very well done by Honda. There's not as much space under here because you do have more electronics. Lane keep assist, radar cruise control, all those things just require some extra, as well as having a radiator and an intercooler for the turbo engine. So I trust Honda with the turbos, even though I miss the old school. But yeah, very, very solid cars. All right, so we'll briefly look at this one. This is a 2011. And for its time, this was a handsome vehicle. And it's still handsome, but you can tell it's a bit dated. I like that this car is a little bit more squared off. This one looks to sit a bit higher off the ground, so it's not as aerodynamic, but I do like the wheels on it. These are probably going to be 17s. Yeah, this one looks like it sits a little bit lower than the Sport, but this is a good looking car. I like the chrome. For 2011, if you recall that time, 12 years ago, there's not a bad angle on this car. These headlights look super modern for the time. And then just hopping in the interior, this too has the old 2.5 liter engine. At this point in time, what is this model? This is an EXL. So you got a little bit more nice things in here. Soft touch leather. I love this wood inlay. I love the space in here. Closing the door. Cabin feels very solid. You do have a sunroof in here, which is nice. These leather seats feel nice. I feel like I'm sitting a little bit lower than the Sport model, but this is super comfortable. You can sit 5 back here, and you have vents back here. Like I said, definitely a must to me. You have a map pocket on each side, and this is hard plastic on the back. So this is more of an upscale trim. Okay, but yeah, nothing missing back here. You still don't have great visibility. This was swoopy for 2011, I will say. So we'll hop in the front. Another thing you do have is very quality carpet back here. This carpet looks very, very good. And honestly, this vehicle has 121,000 miles on it, so it's doing really well. Stepping inside the front, or looking inside, obviously this is all soft touch. You do not have memory seats. You don't have metal accents here, but that's okay. We will pop the trunk, which I like that release better than the other one. The hood is a bit more recessed, but stepping in, you can tell it's a little old school. The seat's a little springy. The driver's seat's a little bit more firm than I like, but you know, you do have a swoopy cockpit here. You have no digital except for your trip stuff in there. That is a small display, but again, this is 2011, and I'm grateful for satellite radio. So you do have automatic climate control, which is dope. 6-disc changer, still a thing. And you have heated seats in here. So easy to use parking brake. Cup holders are very straightforward. Old school door pockets, which I love. I don't like drinks being down here because I had a drink spill into a speaker, so it's kind of dumb. You have aux outlets in here, power outlets. That's super dope. I love the fact that this has heated seats in 2011. And you can see this is kind of concave in here, which is fine. I still like that. That is not damped. And this does have 17s and wheel locks, so that's kind of cute. But yeah, I mean, incandescent bulbs here. You still have Bluetooth in this vehicle, which I love. That's a standard size, maybe a standard size for the time sunroof. So you have good lighting coming in here. The front seat definitely kind of sits back and kind of points up a little bit. I don't like that. What's interesting is these headlights are clear. So they're clearer than the 2015. I don't know if those have been replaced. I do see a little fogging up here, but so that hood feels a little bit lighter than the 2015 and even the 2021. This has a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine, and oddly enough, that alternator's harder to get to than the other one. It's because this car narrows as you get to the front and back, and so it kind of intrudes a little bit. Not that you can't work on it, but you have your manifold there, intake here, you have your air box there, battery here. I almost assume I had a V6 in here because there was less room. You have that strut there, or that bracing for better stability and less body roll. Again, for the time, this is a good-looking vehicle, and it's still a good-looking vehicle. It just looks a little dated. Certainly not least on our Honda tour of greatness is this 2017 Honda Accord Hybrid. This car looks pretty new. It almost looks like a new Subaru. It doesn't look new for Honda because seeing that one looks, the 2021 looks more modern, but this is a good example of continued Honda excellence. I love the color. I love the interior color. This vehicle just pops. I don't know if the wheels go with that, but they're kind of low drag wheels, so I get it. There's not a bad angle on this vehicle. And 5 years ago when this thing came out, it's probably the best looking, or one of the best looking midsize sedans. The best styling and space of any car in the midsize segment, hands down. So we'll step inside, and this is cloth, but this is soft touch. This is soft touch. This is nice, feels very good. You have cup holders here, but stepping in back, I mean, even with the cloth interior, I'm not missing leather at all. This is so comfortable. This feels like velour. I could sit back here with 3 adults. I wouldn't want to, but with 2, it's super spacious. And this cabin looks absolutely gorgeous and excellent. I mean, this is probably my favorite one out of all the ones that I've shown. 5 years old, you know, on a hybrid, you know, there could be some maintenance things that come up, but it's not gonna fall apart because it's a Honda. This has a 2-liter engine. I'll put the specs below because I don't know them. But yeah, this feels so good. Soft touch, soft touch. That's hard, this is soft. And I cannot tell you how comfortable these seats are. These feel very couch-like. I could fall asleep in here and take a nap. And these doors feel very solid. There's good room back here. This is an excellent used car. And I love the use of chrome here. And I love this here to save the doors. Very well thought out. You have satellite radio in the front seat. This is just continued Honda excellence. I love this inlay here. That's damped, it's not lined, but this being recessed is quite all right with me. I would love this in 2023. Automatic climate control, just the ease of use here cannot be understated. I mean, being so busy nowadays, I hate having to fuddle through menus and stuff. And so I love not having to do that here. You have a charge port here. You can put your wallet in here that's kind of hidden. You have an outlet right here. You have a sport button here. I'm sure there's some kind of electronic engine in here too, or motor. You have charge port here. I love these square cup holders. They're super dope. But yeah, I mean, this interior for midsize is very, very well appointed. Love that. Getting into the driver's seat, again, I love this chrome. I love that you have keyless entry. The door opens wide. Soft touch, soft touch. Just continued excellence here. These vents are easy to use. Open, close, side, front. I love the blue lighting in here. Honestly, this is super well appointed. I mean, lane keep assist. Again, guys, this is 2017. This is 6 years ago, not 5. Yeah, Bluetooth, radar, cruise control. I mean, all the things. I mean, this is a very, very well appointed vehicle. So I can't complain. The door closes solidly. You have speaker here, speaker here. That's that solid close there. The interior lighting, let's see if that's incandescent. Yeah, that's fine. And you don't have a sunroof. And again, this is easily accessible by the driver and passengers in the front. I love that. So we'll pop the hood and the trunk. And so, yeah, I mean, they put all the best things in this vehicle. Again, not missing the leather. Trunk space is a little bit lighter. Probably because you have some sort of battery or something down here. But there's storage here. Flat tire repair kit, so you don't have a donut, but I love this trunk. Still a good size, still enough for a family of 4. I can't say enough about these. Doors chip a lot over here, and that is a well thought out, well executed design. And this creamy front is just beautiful. Just the perfect amount of chrome, larger Honda badge. Hopefully this thing has struts. It does not, but we have an Earth Dreams 2-liter engine, and it looks like there's some kind of electronic motoring right there. But still, the battery's there. The air box is here. If you take off that Earth Dreams thing, you can change the spark plugs, check all the fluids you need to. Very, very well done by Honda. Cannot complain.